What's up, everyone, and welcome to today's math class. You see it on the screen. Today, we are going to discuss how to calculate the percent of a number. So grab a notebook, grab some paper, get a pencil, even a calculator, and follow along with me. I'm going to start with the percent proportion because this proportion will allow us to solve most problems that feature a percentage. Just like our previous lesson, we know the percent ratio. All percentages are always out of 100. So the first part of our percent proportion is percent will always go over 100. The other ratio is the part being compared to the whole. So based on the scenario that we have, whatever number represents a part of something would go in place of the part. And if there was a value that represents the whole something, it would go in place of the whole. Let's take a look at an example. Here's a word problem on the screen. It says there are 120 students in the 6th grade. During a survey given at lunch, 65% of the 6th grade students chose pizza as their favorite lunch. How many students voted for pizza? Well, the first thing I hope that is jumping out at you in this problem, we have a percentage right here, 65%. And anytime I am dealing with a percentage, I know that percentage is always out of 100. So I'm going to start my percent proportion, but instead of the percent over 100, I'm going to replace that with 65. So we get 65 over 100 because 65 is the percentage. Now, setting up the rest of my proportion, we have the part over the whole. The other value I see in this problem, there are 120 students in the 6th grade. So you need to ask yourself, the 120 students in this problem, does that represent part of the 6th grade, or does that represent the whole 6th grade? Well, there are 120 students in the 6th grade. That is the entire grade. So 120 is the whole. The part is the unknown. Look at the question. How many students voted for pizza? So we are essentially trying to calculate the part of the grade that voted for pizza as their favorite lunch. Now that we have our proportion set up, let's go ahead and solve like we've been doing for a couple weeks now. Testing our cross products, 100 times x is 100x. Bring over our equal sign. Now the other direction, 65 times 120. That sounds like calculator time for me. 65 times 120 gives us 7,800. And now we can split our equation into two sides. We're going to solve for x by dividing both sides of the equation by 100. We're left with x equal to 7,800 divided by 100. Use a calculator if you need to, but I know the answer is 78. And don't forget to label that value because this is a word problem. So 78 students voted for pizza. All right, so here we have another example. It is asking us to find 25% of 300. And when you're given a straight calculation like this without any insight that you would gain from a word problem as far as figuring out what the part or the whole is, some keywords you can look for in these straight calculations. The word is, if you see the word is near or with a number, that always represents the part of something. And then the keyword of, if you see the word of, that represents the whole. So back to our example, find 25% of 300. Always start with your percentage. I see a percentage. I know all percentages are out of 100, so place your 25 over 100. Now we need to set up the rest of our percent proportion. Look at our other value, 300. What word is with the 300? Of. What does of mean? Of is the whole. So if my percent proportion is the percent over 100 equals the part over the whole, of is a keyword meaning whole. So in this case, 300 is the whole. It will go on the bottom. We're trying to find the part. We're trying to find the number that is 25% of 300. Once your proportion set up, nice, easy. Solving for x, 100x equals my other direction, 25 times 300 is 7,500. Divide both sides of your equation by 100. We get the solution x equals 75. So 75 is 25% of 300. Our next example says 45 is 30% of what number? Well, we know we're dealing with a percent problem because I have a percentage right here. In fact, I know it is 30%. So where do you think that 30 will go in our percent proportion? All percentages go over 100. So 30 will go over 100. The other side of our percent proportion, the part over the whole. 45 is. Do you remember what is a key word for? Is means the part. So 45 is the part. So 45 will go on top of our second ratio because it is the part. And even look at this. Here's our keyword of what? Of what number? Of an unknown, meaning our variable is the whole. Now our proportion is set up. We can solve for x. Let's cross multiply. 30 times x is 30x. Bring over your equal sign. My other direction is 100 times 45 gives us 4,500. Divide both sides of your equation by 30 to isolate the variable x. We get x equal to, use your calculator if you're in need, 4,500 divided by 30, 150. So 45 is 30% of 150. All right, last example. 105 is what percent of 200? Take a look. We're talking about a percentage. I know I can use the percent proportion. Do we know the percentage here? It's asking me what percent, meaning that the percent is unknown. So in place of our percentage, we're going to use our variable. I know that all percentages go over 100. And in this case, because our percentage is unknown, our variable will go over 100. So I have a variable x over 100. Setting up the rest of our percent proportion, 105 is represents the part, so it goes on top of our second ratio. Of 200, of is the whole, so 200 would be the bottom of our second ratio. Let's cross multiply and solve for x. 200 times x is 200x. 100 times 105 is 10,500. Divide both sides of the equation by 200. We are left with x equal to, grab your calculator for that division, 10,500 divided by 200, 52.5. One last thing on this problem, it is asking for a percentage, so our solution, 52.5, is a percentage, so please put a percent sign on it. 105 is 52.5% of 200. All right, I have 3 more problems for you to try on your own. Go ahead, pause the video, record the problems, find the missing value for each one. When you're done, hit play again to check your work to see how you did. All right, hopefully you completed all 3 of these problems on your own. Let's check your work. Find 74% of 95. 74 is a percentage. It will go over 100. We have of 95. That means 95 is the whole. It's going to go on the bottom of our second ratio. The part is unknown. Cross multiplying for this, we get 100x equal to 74 times 95. That sounds like a calculator for me. 74 times 95. 7,030. Now we're dividing both sides of the equation by 100. We get x equals 70.3. Number 2, 36 is 15% of what number? Always look for your percentage first. Our percentage is 15, and all percentages go over 100. Setting up the rest of our proportion, 36 is the part, so 36 will go up top. Of what number? The whole is unknown, so x on the bottom. Solving this proportion, 15 times x is 15x, equal to 100 times 36 is 3,600. Solve for x by dividing both sides of the equation by 15. We get a solution x equals, I'm going to double check my work on a calculator, divided by 15. You should get 240. And then finally, 36 is what percent of 180? The percentage is unknown. That means my variable will be over 100. Setting up the rest of my proportion, 36 is, that means 36 is the part of 180. 180 is the whole. Let's solve for x now. Cross multiplying, x times 180 is 180x. Bring over the equal sign. Now 100 times 36 is 3,600. Dividing both sides of the equation by 180, we get x equal to, let me double check with a calculator, 3,600 divided by 180, Answer 20, be careful. It's a percentage. You should label it as such. 20% for the last one. Please complete the independent practice assignment for percent of a number. Take a picture of your work and upload that file for submission. I'll see you guys next time.